Think you've seen it all?
Think again.
It's your life.
Live it.
It's your time.
Use it.
It's your future.
Protect it.
Air Force Reserve. What a way to spend your time.
1-800-257-1212.
Steve Degler, Randy Stevens back at Warwick High School in Lidditz. The starting lineup, Central Catholic led by John Sharkey, the 6'7 senior at 16 points a game. Jared Mills, the 6'5 senior, at 13.8 points a game. And Elmer Turpin also in double figures at 10.5 a game for Annville-Cleona. Mark Linebaugh, 22 a game for the 6'1 junior, and Isaac Custer, the 6'1 senior, at 12.2 points a game. Scott Pera on the left, coach of Annville-Cleona. Snip Esterly on the right. In his 10th season with the Cardinals, has won nearly 82% of his games.
And how about 6 years of 25-plus victories? Isaac Custer standing behind Jared Mills there, number 21. He's a key man, sometimes lost in the Linebaugh shuffle. He averages 12 a game, and of course Jared Mills, the big guy underneath, along with Sharkey for Central.
Tim Ebersol, Mike George, John Eister to call this one. Annville-Cleona, the home team in the white uniforms, moving from left to right here in the first half, and they will get the first possession off the tip.
Steve, one thing to keep an eye out for, Annville-Cleona is a team that generally comes smoking out of the gate. Sometimes Central gets lulled to sleep a little bit in the early going. We'll see if Central comes out with a lot of intensity.
Linebaugh wears number 5, just a junior, over 22 points a game. He's a good three-point shooter. He's a great slasher to the basket, and don't put him on the foul line. Fogelsanger with a nice move around Mills, but it's blocked by Sharkey. Fogelsanger gets it back and has the first points of the game.
Sharkey made a smart move there not to commit after he blocked the shot. He didn't want to pick up an early foul. Better to give up the basket. And Annville on top.
And Annville comes out in a zone defense,
which is something very unusual for them. Normally they play man-to-man, but it gives Central a different look.
And now watch O'Donnell, their number 10 with the ball. He is a three-point threat. 53 threes on the year, only 24 twos.
Oh,
they go right inside to their big man Mills, and he ties the game at 2.
Annville collapsing down on Mills. It didn't matter. Sharkey with a soft little pass inside, and Mills the easy basket.
Jared scoring nearly 1,400 points in his great career. Here's Linebaugh off a screen. 3 is good.
When you're a big scorer like Linebaugh, so critical to hit that first shot. Not that he needs any more confidence, but it certainly gives you an adrenaline shot.
65th three-pointer of the year for Linebaugh, who shoots 46% from beyond the arc. And as Snip Esterly said in the open, they do a great job of screening for him. Looking inside for Sharkey, it's stolen away by Mark Brandt.
One thing Central's going to need to do in this game is to hit some outside shots, because it looks like the Annville-Cleona zone is just boxing down low, trying to keep the ball out of the hands of the two big guys.
This is Custer, who's had a great year, kind of getting lost with all the accolades going to Linebaugh. Linebaugh driving, his penetration shut off. 6:10 to play first quarter. Linebaugh misses that jumper, but Kleinfelder manages to come out of there with it, and it's stolen by Sharkey. Dutchmen lead at 5-2, 2 minutes in. And still the 2-3 from Annville-Cleona. Sean Hayes had a great game Wednesday. Here's Turpin for the tie, and Linebaugh, who gets 4.5 rebounds a game with his first today.
He didn't make that shot, but Turpin has to stand up and take it. Almost a great play by O'Donnell there as he ends up over on the bench. Almost ran over the scorer's table.
Great hustle by 6'1 senior Brian O'Donnell, but he could not keep it in bounds.
Somebody from Central is going to have to step into the crease of that zone and take that jump shot. Turpin and O'Donnell are going to have to knock a few down to make Annville-Cleona come out on the perimeter.
Fogelsanger away from the basket this time. Brandt playing with that left wrist and thumb taped up. Annville running some clock. Here's the matchup, Linebaugh against Turpin. Linebaugh really uses screens well, both with and without the basketball.
And Turpin is a tenacious defender.
Great patience here by the Dutchman. Hayes nearly had a steal after that pass was tipped. Linebaugh now trying to break Turpin down. And Brandt will reset the offense, call out another play.
And right now, Central playing great man-to-man, switching off nicely.
Kleinfelder working down low, blocked by Sean Hayes. Hayes had a great game in the win over Halifax, the team that knocked Central out of the district tournament. Mills looked like he walked with the basketball, no call. Sharkey on the left baseline hits to make it a one-point game.
And usually when Sharkey cans that shot off the baseline, Central's offense becomes very effective because you just can't let him stand there. You have to extend the defense, and when you do, that opens things up for Mills underneath.
Sharkey has had a tremendous senior season. Custer had it knocked away by Mills. Isaac gets it back, loses it again. Great hustle by Turpin to get it to Hayes. Central a chance to take its first lead midway through the first quarter. So far, O'Donnell has not looked for his shot. Turpin driving, rebound for Custer. That time O'Donnell was wide open on the weak side of the floor. Brandt pounded from behind by O'Donnell.
Both teams so fundamentally sound.
Double block. Mills and Sharkey both got Custer, but that let Vogelsanger free for the follow.
And as well as this game is being played defensively and with as much intensity, we still have not had a personal foul in the game, and the game's almost 5 minutes old.
Mills, baseline. There's the first foul, a charge on Jared Mills.
And that guy came dressed for this ball game.
Mills with a great move along the baseline.
Close call.
He was there.
Yeah, I think he was too. Those are the toughest calls that an official has to make, and we're able to slow it down and look at it in replay, know what's coming, and the official's got to make the call bang, bang. That's why they're so tough. And nobody's ever happy whichever way the call goes.
Barlett into the game, and the pass for him too low. So Brett Barlett, early action, the 5'11 junior with the bad ankle, is nearly 100%. As you look at Snip Esterly, 248 wins in 10 years. Not too shabby.
Just a phenomenal coach and just so great at making adjustments, so great at getting his guys ready for a game.
There's O'Donnell. They found him that time, and Bryan has three-pointer number 54 on the season. We're tied at 7 with 2.5 left first quarter.
And again, you can't stress how much more effective the Cardinals' offense becomes when they hit outside shots.
Brandt will try, and he rings a three as well, and that puts Annville back on top.
Sometimes the expectations for these big games are more than the games provide. Not this one, Steve. This is off to a great start.
Brandt only averages 3 points a game. Sharkey had it stripped away. Good defensive play by Linebaugh. That's only the fourth three-pointer for Brandt this season.
Well, it's hard to believe that Annville-Cleona.
O'Donnell short with this one. Vogelsanger the rebound.
Hard to believe Annville-Cleona's Linebaugh is just a junior. Imagine what he will be like next year as a senior. Tremendous player.
Imagine if he grows an inch or two during the summer. Becomes 6'3", maybe 6'4". Inside, forcing it is Custer. Another block for Sharkey. Mills leads a 3-on-4. Jared taking it strong. Vogelsanger got a piece. Mills right back and converts.
Mills is so strong, and he's able to get his own rebound that time. And just when he gets down on the low blocks, you're not going to be able to stop him.
1 point, Annville-Cleona lead as we approach the last minute of the first quarter. Turpin checking Linebaugh. Mark with the early three-pointer and nothing since then.
Both teams are playing sensational man-to-man defense.
Barlett flashing through the lane, was open momentarily. Now they find him on the perimeter. The left ankle that Barlett hurts, still wearing a brace on it. It's heavily taped. Here's Linebaugh driving, can't get the roll. He is very adept at getting to the foul line. 230 foul shots attempted in 30 games. And we'll look at this again.
And you'll see Turpin right on him, and yet Linebaugh able to find the crease in the defense. Turpin stays with him, a little push, and that's the foul. Turpin very capable. He's like the Energizer bunny. He said that we talked to his coach before, Snip Esterly, and Snip said that he's very capable of playing this game, then going out and playing another game, sort of like Willie Mays used to be, the doubleheader, then the stickball game back in the neighborhood with the kids. And Turpin's certainly that kind of a player.
First substitution for Central, number 4, Yarden Brantley, a 6-foot junior, replaces Sean Hayes. Line ball with 1 of 2, which is very unusual. He is an 86% free throw shooter. 2-point Annville-Cleona lead with 50 seconds left in the first quarter.
And again, playing that zone, which is so unusual for the Dutchman.
O'Donnell shooting one off the dribble this time and tying the game at 11. 5 first quarter points for O'Donnell.
He's got 5 of the 11, and again, that becomes critical because the zone must then adapt to challenge him, and when it does, that opens up things for Sharkey and Mills underneath.
That's a big shot for O'Donnell because usually he is more of a standstill shooter. He was able to take the dribble and score. First quarter clock, bottom right, tied at 11. Our third deadlock of the first quarter.
Boy, is this shaping up to be a great game or what?
And here's the guy they want to have the ball. Line ball will start things.
Turpin right on him, and Turpin causes the turnover.
Great defense by Elmer Turpin. That'll be the end of the first quarter at Warwick. 11-11. Central and Annville back with the second quarter in a moment. Here in the first half. It's Brantley, Turpin, Mills, Sharkey, and O'Donnell for the Cardinals. They go inside for Mills. Jared off the glass and good. He has scored 6, and it's the first lead of the afternoon for Central Catholic.
And again, a big guy at 240 pounds, 6'5", but oh so soft with the hands.
Vogelsanger, Brandt, Barlett, Custer, and Linebaugh for the Dutchman. Linebaugh held to 3 points in the first quarter. Great job by Elmer Turpin. Here's Brandt, left alone. Too strong, rebound for Brantley. Cross court for Brantley. Yarden fires the 3, too long with that, and Barlett the rebound. Annville-Cleona trailing for the first time today.
Brantley really didn't set himself properly when he launched that jump shot. I think he was expecting the defense to come to him, and he found himself open.
Here's contact at the top of the key. O'Donnell saying he was fouled by Vogelsanger with an illegal screen, but the call's going against Brian O'Donnell. His first, all 3 fouls in the game charged to the Cardinals. There's O'Donnell, who was not happy with that call.
Definitely some heavy contact, and this call goes against O'Donnell.
Annville-Cleona, one thing to watch for, they have some great out-of-bounds plays. Whistle away from the ball again as O'Donnell and Vogelsanger again had contact, but this one is on the other side of the floor. On the far side, Isaac Custer called for the foul, the first against the Dutchman.
Right, the heavy contact was not where the foul was called. Let's take another look, and whoa, boy, the foul, believe it or not, is on the other side. That could have easily been O'Donnell's second.
Trying to get a little revenge right there was Brian O'Donnell.
That looked more like a football block than it did a basketball pick.
Brantley looking down low for Mills. Jared facing up on Linebaugh. Mark strips it away. He's a good defensive player as well. Very quick hands.
Yeah, you really have to discipline yourself to take your eyes off the matchup between Linebaugh, and there it is with the great defensive job being done on him by Elmer Turpin, because those two really going at it.
Barlett spinning and fouled as he goes to the hoop. Both Turpin and Mills were reaching in. We'll see who gets the call. It'll be Jared Mills, his second, team fourth.
Well, here's the play again, and Barlett, such a critical element to this team as he slices down the lane and picks up the foul. He was the starting point guard. Brandt, number 12, has been the point guard, and only in the last game did Barlett come back. Suffered a flukish injury on the day before the district final against York Catholic.
Kleinfelder back for the Dutchman. There is Matt. Custer checks out. Barlett, a 78% free throw shooter, missing the first.
That was a sad sight for Brett. He was on crutches at Hershey Park Arena as his team's getting ready to face off in the district final.
Missing both. Annville now 1 for 4 from the line. Normally the Dutchman shoots 75% from the stripe.
Yeah, they are as good a high school free throw shooting team as you'll find.
Sharkey hit from there in the first quarter, missing this one. Bartlett the rebound. Annville with the ball, down by 2. Linebaugh stop and go against Turpin. What a great move by Mark Linebaugh.
He's so quick, he accelerates so quickly, and then great leaping ability as well to get himself clear for the shot.
I believe I said Linebaugh with 3 points in the first quarter, actually 4. He was 1 for 2 from the line, so now he has 6 in the game. O'Donnell looking for another 3, short. Turpin knocked it away right to Mills. Great play by Elmer Turpin.
Great hustle play by Turpin to keep that one alive, and then Mills the beneficiary for the easy layup.
Elmer Turpin can do a lot of things out there for you at both ends of the floor. Nice move by Kleinfelder, but Sharkey, even though he went for the fake, was able to come up with a block.
Great recovery by Sharkey, who went up to block the ball and then ended up blocking it with his other hand on the way down.
2-point Central Catholic lead. 3 minutes into the second quarter. Mills again, now in double figures with 10.
The Dutchmen have no answer for Jared Mills down low. They're simply not strong enough or tall enough to handle him on the low blocks.
Saw Sharkey, who's picked up a handful of blocked shots already this afternoon. They look inside. Fogelsanger runs into Sharkey again. And now Mills knocks it away. Excellent defense inside by John Sharkey.
And Central is just so adept at playing that man-to-man style. There's a lot of help coming from different directions if your man does beat you, and everybody out there with quick hands.
Whistle on the inbound pass. Illegal screen against Annville-Cleona. So the Dutchmen have picked up 2 fouls, both of them for illegal screens. This one is against Linebaugh, his first.
So the Dutchmen are going to have to regroup a little bit. There's such a reliance, a strong reliance on the play of Linebaugh, which some of the other guys sometimes have to really get into the action offensively. And it's very difficult to get anything inside against the twosome of Sharkey and Mills.
O'Donnell a little out of his range there. Not Turpin, though. Elmer with a long three-pointer. So he had 26 in the win over DeLone Catholic in a district qualifier. And he can score if he has to. 7-point lead for the Cardinals, their biggest.
Well, he's got the responsibility to guard Linebaugh. You see the two chasing each other around the floor. And then Turpin also kicks in offensively. That's a key for Central.
You talk about loosening up a zone. Scoring from there will do it in a hurry.
Well, the zone has to come out and play you, and Turpin will pick up this foul. Got ball, but also got the arm of Linebaugh.
That's the second on Turpin. We're exactly midway through the second quarter, 4 minutes to play. 5th on the team. Custer will replace Bartlett in the Annville-Cleona lineup as you look at Scott Para.
And normally you would say that Sharkey and Mills are the guys the Cardinals can't be without. But in this game, Turpin is absolutely the guy they need on the floor because really nobody else matches up as well with Linebaugh for Central.
Annville-Cleona getting to the Eastern semis with wins over Williams Valley and Wilkes-Barre GAR. Central has defeated Central Columbia by 2 and Halifax by 5. There's Linebaugh slashing to the hoop. He has 8. He can score from anywhere.
And Turpin really has to lay back off him a little bit. You saw him be very careful not to pick up the third foul, but Linebaugh, just a tremendous player. He can shoot, he can drive, he's great in the open floor. He's the whole package.
5-point Central Catholic lead. Brent comes out a little more on Turpin this time. Swing the ball for O'Donnell. Again, trying one off the dribble and hit it. Brian O'Donnell with 7 first-half points.
And that's not normally his shot. Normally he's a shoot after you catch. This time the quick little dribble and the shot off the dribble, and he knocks it down.
Fogelsanger driving on Sharkey. John holds his ground, alters the shot, and the rebound for Yarden Brantley, who has played meaningful minutes here in the first half.
Absolutely, and he's done a good job. He's missed the only shot that he's taken, but he's played great defense and a couple of big rebounds.
The lead at 7 right now. Second time it's been there for the Cardinals. Central's had a good inside-outside mix. Mills on the inside, O'Donnell and Turpin on the outside. There's Jared spinning to the baseline, but missing this one. Another rebound for Isaac Custer.
A little too hard off the glass that time for Jared Mills, and Sharkey was on the same side Mills was. Nobody there to get a rebound.
2:25 to play first half at Warwick High School in Lidditz, 22-15. Central Catholic leading Annville-Cleona in a boys AA Eastern semifinal.
And right now, O'Donnell has gone out to play Linbaugh, so that's a change.
And there's Linbaugh to the hoop. Lost the handle going up. Mills the rebound. 2-on-1 the other way. O'Donnell keeps it. And a reach-in foul called on Mark Grant, his first, third on the team.
One of the things with 2:06 to go is you'd like to keep Turpin from getting his third foul, and yet you need him out on the floor. So what you do, you take your other guard, O'Donnell, over and take a look at Linbaugh. There's a 2-on-1 break, and you can see right across the arms. And O'Donnell with no chance to do anything. He will get some free throws out of it.
First trip to the line for Central today. O'Donnell just 50% though, 13 for 26 coming into the game, and he misses that one off the back iron.
He just hasn't gotten to the line enough, because normally you would think a guy who is an excellent stationary shooter would be great at the free throw line. Hasn't been the case for him.
Misses both, and the rebound for Kleinfelder. The team's now a combined 1 for 6 from the line.
And that's really unusual for the Dutchman, because, as you say, 75%, an outstanding percentage. They're as good as anybody in the state of Pennsylvania shooting free throws.
Nice switch off by Brantley as O'Donnell got caught in a screen. He took line ball, flashing across the baseline.
Defense always has to know where line ball is. And there's got to be plenty of help coming if the initial man can't play him.
Vogelsanger with a strong move to the hoop. Tim has scored 6.
Vogelsanger's had a great game inside, battling a height disadvantage and playing well against Central's big guys.
We were tied at 11 after 1. Late in the second quarter, Central up by 5. Turpin misses the 3 this time. Line ball the rebound. The Dutchman looking to run. Nice catch by Custer.
Custer does so many things well, and here's line ball.
Custer with nice position, can't get the shot to go, and rebound for John Sharkey.
Now with a minute to go, you're 5 points ahead. Do you tuck it into the refrigerator and play for one shot?
Absolutely. If they're going to play zone. Absolutely, and that's what Snip Esterly's going to do. He's going to force Annville to come out, or Central holds for the last shot. There's Scott Perry. He doesn't seem too concerned about it. Snip Esterly, 5-point lead for him right now.
While you're watching, there's Turpin, and that's the first time he's let go of the ball in 15 seconds. This is a smart move. They're in a zone. They don't come out to play. You've got the lead. Why not? The worst that can happen is Central could be down 5 at the half. And what Annville doesn't want to do is they don't want to get caught going out playing man-to-man and then having a Cardinal blow by them.
Somewhere around the 8-second mark, Central Catholic's really going to start things moving. Here they go inside to Mills. Jared quadruple team, and he still scores. 8 of his 12 here in the second quarter. Line ball from midcourt, short. That's the end of the first half at Warwick. Central Catholic with a big second quarter, leading Annville-Cleona 24-17. We'll come back with more in a moment.
That has shattered the limitations of time and distance. It will be a world without walls, without boundaries, writing to you directly on a beam of light. This pioneer spirit is redefining who we are. Who are we? We are Time Warner Cable.
Been victimized by sexual assault and don't know where to turn? Call SARC, the Sexual Assault Resource and Counseling Center. SARC offers a 24-hour crisis hotline, individual and support group counseling, medical and legal accompaniment, and much more. All services are free of charge and confidential. No matter how recent or long ago it may have happened, you don't need to remain a victim. Become a survivor. Call SARC at 272-5308.
Welcome back to Warwick High School in Lidditz. PIAA Boys Class AA Eastern semifinal at the break. Central Catholic leading 24-17, outscoring Annville-Cleona 16-6 in the second quarter. Steve Degler back with Randy Stevens, and a great quarter offensively for the Cardinals. Inside with Mills, outside with O'Donnell.
Well, the expectation for Annville-Cleona was they wanted to go out and play that zone defense, figuring that the guys who will hurt them are Sharkey and Mills. They decided to take their chances with O'Donnell and Turpin. It is O'Donnell who has made them pay. He has knocked down 7 first-half points. He's loosened the zone up a little bit. He's been very effective outside. And as you say, Mills with the 12 points inside has mopped up.
Now for Annville-Cleona, their leading scorer is Mark Linebaugh, as you would expect. The average is 22 a game. He scored 8 in the first half, but Randy, he worked hard for all 8 of those points.
Well, he's got Elmer Turpin right up in his face. He did get Turpin to commit 2 fouls in that first half, but he's such a sensational defender, and with Linebaugh, he's going to get his points anyway. There really isn't anybody who's going to stop him or hold him down, but the key is to make him work to get those points. Turpin certainly has done that for Central.
These are two very good coaches. We have seen Snip Esterly of Central Catholic many times over the years. He really doesn't change a whole lot. Man-to-man defense, motion-type offense. Annville-Cleona coach Scott Parra told us before the game he's going to mix things up a little bit defensively, but we saw all zone in the first half. Do you think that will continue in the second half?
It's hard to say because normally you would think that Scott Parra's club, Annville, doesn't match up real well with Central. The height disadvantage underneath, if you go man-to-man, it's going to create things for Sharkey and for Mills. I would think they're going to stay in this zone for a little more. If things get into the late third quarter and the lead stays 7 or 9 points, then I think you have to abandon ship and go to the man-to-man.
You talked about Jared Mills, 12 points here at the break, 8 in the second quarter to lead all scorers. We saw at the end of the half, quadruple team, and he is still strong enough to score.
The thing about Jared Mills, you look at him and he looks like a strong guy. He's 240 pounds. But the thing that always impresses me are his quick feet, the way he's able to spin into the lane and get a shot off, and his hands are so soft. He's been triple teamed, he's been quadruple teamed, and yet he catches the ball well, still spins, makes the shot. He's just a terrific player.
The winner here today advancing to the Eastern Finals next week. They'll take on the winner of either Dunmore or St. Pius X. Right now we're at halftime at Warwick High School in Lidditz. 24-17 Central with the lead. Here is the difference. 7-point game. Brian O'Donnell, 7 first-half points for the Cardinals. They lead 24-17. We'll come back with the third quarter from Warwick High School in just a moment right here on Time Warner Cable.
Having a baby is a special time. At Good Samaritan Hospital in Lebanon, we can make it even more special. Our New Beginning birth suites are the perfect place to have a baby. Located in a special wing, the suites are brand new, private, and designed for your comfort. With single-room maternity care, our new approach to childbirth, you stay in the same birth suite for everything, while our medical and childbirth experts are at your side. We even offer hydrotherapy to help you feel comfortable during labor. After delivery, one of Good Samaritan's specially trained nurses cares for both you and your baby. Our New Beginning birth suites feel almost like home, with the personal touches a new mother needs, like a private bathroom and shower, and your own TV and VCR. Best of all, your baby stays in your room with you, so you can get acquainted. The New Beginning birth suites, a special place for a special time.
Want to play games? You want to win prizes? Okay, here's what you got to do. First off, you got to register. Come on, lift your little finger. It'll take 2 minutes. Call this number. I swear, I did it myself, and I'm no rocket scientist. Now, you sit back, relax, and watch Game Show Network. When you see this come across the bottom of your screen, you know it's time to call in and play. It is that easy. Just register, watch, and play. Oh, yeah. You can win great prizes from that comfy chair in your living room, too. Register, watch, play, and win with Game Show Network. I'll play all day.
There's something very special about Mary on pay-per-view.
When a guy who played 36 holes and still have enough energy to take me and my brother to a ball game.
Hey, there's an idea. Enter to win one of 5 sports marathon grand prizes and head to LA to play in our celebrity golf tournament, followed by a VIP night at Dodger Stadium. Watch the comedy sensation There's Something About Mary on pay-per-view for all the details.
Steve Degler, Randy Stevens back at Warwick. There's John Sharkey. Only 2 points in the first half, Randy, but huge literally on defense for the Cardinals.
He's had a number of blocked shots, and we'll see what Annville comes out with. It's going to be interesting to see how they go defensively.
That was Isaac Custer averaging 12 a game, who did not score in the first half. Linebaugh takes it strong, and we just talked about him. Sharkey, another block for the Cardinals in their red uniforms, moving from left to right in the second half. O'Donnell had a big first half, short with that 3. Rebound tipped to Barlett. It's Brandt, Barlett, Linebaugh, Fogelsanger, and Custer for Annville-Cleona. Hayes, who didn't play much in the first half. Sharkey, Mills, Turpin, and O'Donnell for the Dutchman. Right into Fogelsanger. Blocked again by Sharkey. Fogelsanger able to convert over Sharkey this time. 8 points for Tim Vogelsanger.
Vogelsanger must have used 4 different head and shoulder fakes and finally just muscled it up there. Big basket to get them off the snide here in the second half.
O'Donnell was playing line ball. Turpin has 2 fouls right into Mills, and that has been unstoppable. 14 points for Jared.
There's no answer for that, and although Sharkey has 2 points, he's been very alert to get the ball to Mills when Mills has position in the low blocks.
The Central lead back to 7. Line ball had a 3, didn't take it, put it on the floor instead, and scores through Sharkey and Mills.
Well, that's just a great individual move, and what can you say? He's just a great player. When he's a senior next year, he'll be one of the top players in the state of Pennsylvania.
10 points for line ball. Sharkey triple teamed off the back iron. Rebound for Custer.
See, and again, Annville just collapses that zone defense down on Sharkey and on Jared Mills. And again, they have to get somebody outside to hit an open jump shot. O'Donnell was very successful in doing that in the first half.
Line ball guarded by O'Donnell, but everybody looking to help every time line ball gets the basketball.
Everybody has out of the corner of their eye number 5 in their sights.
Vogelsanger facing up on Sharkey this time. Again using the pump fake and drawing the foul this time. John Sharkey will pick up the personal, his first and the team's first.
Tim Vogelsanger is a 6'3" senior, and he scored a basket a couple of minutes ago with some fakes, and here he gets positioned down low, and you see him just looking for the opportunity. And he's got a guy who's 4 inches taller in his face. One little fake, then goes up. Sharkey gets him on the arm.
Vogelsanger makes the first. He is an excellent free throw shooter, 82% on the season. This is as close as Annville has been since it was 17-13 midway through the second.
One of the things that Snip Esterly has been concerned with his Central team about this year is the fact that sometimes they get a lead and they play a little bit disinterested. So they'll have to be a little careful here today. They get a lead and then figure, well, we'll relax a little bit. And nobody can afford to relax in this game. See Mills, they'll just leave him alone. If he wants that shot, he can have it.
Not Turpin, though, and Elmer drills his second 3 of the game, and the lead goes back to 7, 29-22 Cardinals.
So Turpin is such a gutsy player, works so hard on defense and can still step out and hit that 3.
I mentioned O'Donnell's playing line ball. Turpin now has Brandt. Line ball, great look off, misses the layup, though, and Mills the rebound. See line ball look to the corner like he was going to pass it there, and then floated through the air to try to get the shot to go.
Such great body control, especially when he gets up in the air. It seems like he elevates and then stays up in the air a little bit longer than everybody else.
Any points in this trip will give the Cardinals their biggest lead of the afternoon. It's been 7 several times. Annville staying in the zone.
Central being very patient in attacking it. They're in no hurry. They have a 7-point lead, and they can absolutely wait for the good shot.
Hayes with a nice cut from the weak side, blocked by Vogelsanger. Hayes gets it back and scores to make it a 9-point game.
Hayes, an unsung guy on this team. Remember, he had that serious knee injury a year ago. This will be a 22nd timeout for Annville-Cleona. But Sean Hayes, a guy who on any other team in Berks County probably would be a star, probably would be a 15-point-a-game scorer. On this team, he plays a complimentary role. And take a look at this. He'll have the first attempt blocked by Vogelsanger, and instead he just stays with it. Quick jump, scores the basket.
I mentioned Hayes with a great game in the quarterfinal win over Halifax. He knows his role very well, and he plays it perfectly.
There's Snip Esterly, author of 248 victories against only 56 losses. What a record.
It is Oscar weekend, and Hayes is a guy who would get a nod for best supporting role.
There's a lot of things that don't figure in the box score. That time, 2 tough points.
Line ball, another 3. He has scored 13 in the game.
And he is amazing. I mean, he's a guy, he can take it outside and shoot it, and if you come out to get him, he'll blow right by you. Halfway through the third quarter.
Lead 6 for the Cardinals. It was 7 at halftime. Driving is Turpin, offensive foul. Elmer Turpin's 3rd foul, 2nd on the team, and we'll see what Snip Esterly does now.
And that's not the way they wanted Turpin to pick up his third foul, and Smith very unhappy with that. Let's take a look. He'll come right into your living room, and are the feet set? Tough to tell there.
Second charge Fogelsanger has drawn.
See, now they'll have to go with O'Donnell on line ball, and line ball might be just a step quicker than O'Donnell. Were Turpin not in foul trouble, he would probably be there regardless. But now with 3 fouls, you have to be careful. There's O'Donnell on line ball. Nice defense there, cutting off the baseline.
Fogelsanger, guarded by Mills, goes right by Jarrett and scores.
Well, Fogelsanger having an outstanding game. He's been doing yeoman's work on the boards against 2 guys who are taller and bigger.
11 points for Fogelsanger. He averages 9 a game. What he does do is shoot the ball well. 67% from the floor this season.
And this has suddenly become a 4-point game.
Second time it's been 4. Mills misses. Tip no good. Rebound for line ball.
Jared Mills had a couple of point-blank opportunities there. Just wasn't able to get it down.
Line ball slicing. Misses the layup. Turpin the rebound.
And that would have brought the house down on the Annville-Cleona side had he made that.
He is so quick to the basket.
Talk about rapid acceleration. Wow.
Sharkey being fronted. John scores his second field goal of the game.
First time Sharkey has been able to get away from Custer that time. And Sharkey, the leading scorer on this team, but playing a role here this afternoon.
And that's great recognition by the Cardinals. Nice entry pass, and Sharkey had an easy shot.
Because they've done a nice job all day in fronting him. That time he got away.
Line ball pulls up in the lane and hits. 7 of his 15 here in the third quarter.
And I think you almost have to go back to Turpin on line ball, even with the 3 fouls. That's why that offensive foul was such a critical thing a few minutes ago.
Turpin has to be careful here.
And Turpin is so quick himself.
Gets caught in the air, but finds Sharkey, and John cans another one.
And all of a sudden, Sharkey heating up. He's got 6 points.
And the lead at 6, 35-29 in the final 2 minutes of the third quarter. Time Warner Cable at Warwick High School in Lidditz for the boys AA Eastern semifinal. Annville-Cleona, the number 2 seed from District 3 against Central Catholic, the number 5 seed from District 3.
Offensive foul on the baseline. A little pushing going on. Might have been on Fogelsanger.
It's called a player control foul, which is the wrong call because you need the ball for it to be player control. It is on Fogelsanger, who was trying to post up. Nevertheless, it is offensive. First on Fogelsanger, first on the team.
Both of these teams, the one constant for a Para or an Esterly team is their defense. That's where everything begins. Both teams really get out after you.
Central gives up 49 points a game. Annville gives up 50 points a game.
Fogelsanger knocking that one away.
And there's a steal by line ball. Took it away from Hayes. Here's line ball for 3 and another one.
He's remarkable. Way out on the wing behind that 3-point area. And that makes it a 3-point game.
Closest they've been since it was 15-13, a 2-point game early in the second quarter. O'Donnell with a big answer for the Cardinals, a 3-pointer.
This is the best that high school basketball can be right now. Both sides of the gym are frantic at this point.
10 points for O'Donnell, the lead back to 6. Linebaugh scored 10 of his 18 here in the third quarter.
You know it's a great game, Steve, when our tendency is to stop and want to watch the game.
Absolutely. What a battle between 2 great programs.
Let's see if Annville tucks it away for one shot.
You know it's going to go to Linebaugh. He'll start it, and he'll likely try and finish it.
And O'Donnell right with him.
He's going to kick it off. Brandt for 3. Too strong. Mills the rebound. And that's the end of 3 great quarters at Warwick. Central Catholic 38, Annville-Cleona 32. Back with the finish in a moment.
Nothing compares with having a baby. Nothing really compares with having a baby at Good Samaritan's New Beginning Birth Suites. Everyone at Good Samaritan made us feel right at home. I stayed in the same private room for everything. I I even had a private bathroom and shower and my own TV and VCR. But the best part? Our little bundle of joy stayed right in the room with us. So now, when we're ready to have Emily's little brother, I'm going back to Good Samaritan.
What? Little brother?
Think you've seen it all?
Think again.
It's your life.
Live it.
It's your time.
Use it.
It's your future.
Protect it.
Air Force Reserve. What a way to spend your time.
1-800-257-1212.
Annville's #1 fan out of the Randy Stevens collection circa 1977.
Wow. I'm ready to disco.
Fourth quarter underway at Warwick. 38-32. Central with the lead and the basketball, trying to get back to the Eastern Final. A steal by Fogelsanger. To set the lineups. Line ball. Custer, Brandt, Fogelsanger, Barlett for Annville-Cleona. Brandt didn't take the three. It's O'Donnell, Turpin, Mills, Sharkey, and Brantley now for the Cardinals. Line ball is simply smoking here this afternoon. 21 for the junior.
Well, smoking may not be hazardous to your health the way line ball goes. He is amazing. And there's a bad pass, expecting Mills to jump out to catch it. Mills went inside, and the pass came outside.
Snip Esterly wants a timeout on the Central bench. 7:14 to play in the fourth quarter. Central Catholic 38, Annville-Cleona 35. It's a 20-second timeout.
Scott Carroll on the other side jumped off the bench and just waved his fist into the air, a big semicircle. And boy, you think he's not an emotional guy. If his team shows up for every game with the intensity that Scott Carroll brings to the table, and think he's a little worked up here? Blood pressure, 220 over 140. And he was like that when we talked to him before the game. He was fired up.
There's some of the Central crowd. These two schools have great traditions, and their students really get into it.
And let's take a look at line ball way over the three-point line, and he's done this now 3 times in a row.
What great rotation he has on that shot.
And he gets such great elevation, so a guard is not going to be able to block that shot. There's no way O'Donnell can get that high up in the air. And now Turpin back on line ball, and that's what they have to do.
Central has led since early in the second quarter. We were tied at 11 after 1. Line ball, the pull-up, he is 23.
It's the Mark Lineball show right now for Annville, and they're going to ride him as far as he can take them. Central's got to settle down. They've got to get a good look. And
Turpin with a great finish for the Cardinals.
Boy, what an athletic move that was. He had to suspend himself in the air to get room and let the hands and arms clear before he could release that.
8 points for Turpin.
Turpin right back to work on line ball.
Turpin has 3 personals. Custer, baseline on Sharkey. First points for Isaac Custer, who averages 12 a game. Back to a 1-point lead for the Cardinals.
This is high school basketball as good as it gets right now.
This is everything we've been waiting for, hoping it would be a meeting in the districts, and we have not been disappointed. Here's a hold inside on Custer. Grab the arm of Sharkey. Isaac second, team second.
The winner of this game gets the Dunmore St. Pius the 10th winner. That would be in the Eastern Finals. But right now, this is all that matters.
And the scouts for those 2 schools have to be thinking,
wow,
not a good matchup for us.
We're in trouble either way.
O'Donnell's had a big afternoon for the Cardinals. Bryan has scored 10. He averages 7.
Neither team really goes to their bench deeply. A couple of reserves, that's about it, but pretty much the starters are the ticket.
Annville playing much more man-to-man here in the second half. All zone in the first half. Mills has been quiet. Blocked by Fogelsanger, but he got the arm. Second on Fogelsanger, third on the team, and Jared Mills, and leading the Cardinals with 14, will go to the line.
And a great move by Isaac Custer, because Mills, with that quick spin move, was looking to go baseline. Watch Custer, number 21, back up. You'll see Custer down in the lane here. When Mills comes in, he'll spin to the basket. Watch Custer block the way.
Fogelsanger getting a part of the right arm. Mills to the line where he hits 69%. The lead is back to 2.
Talk about man-to-man defense, but part of man-to-man defense is having your teammates help out. So if they sense that a man gets beaten, they slide over to help. And both of these teams do that so well.
Mills makes them both the lead back to 3. 16 on the afternoon for Jared. Giving Barlett a lot of room.
And Turpin with line ball now with the 3 fouls. Let's see if line ball decides to go to the basket on him.
Here's line ball off a staggered screen. Short, but he almost got the roll anyway. Hayes the rebound.
You expect every time he throws it up, it's going in at this point.
That was the play Sniff Esterly was worried about. He told us before the game that staggered set of screens for line ball.
Mills the outlet far from the basket. They want to normally get him up in the high post area. That's where he is now.
Here's Hayes.
This is about the time of the game. Usually John Sharkey will chip in with 2 or 3 baskets.
Mills, tough shot, offensive foul. Vogelsanger is hurt, turned his left ankle. There he is. 3rd charge he's taken in the game, but right now he's on the floor in some serious pain.
And this would cause serious pain to Annville-Cleona's chance because at 6'3", he has played a great game against the 2 big guys for Central. And if he is unable to continue, if there is a problem, and he really is in some pain. I don't know if it's his knee or his ankle.
He was grabbing his left ankle, which is taped up already. He took the charge on Mills. Jared gets his 3rd, team foul number 3 in the Cardinals. But right now the concern is Vogelsanger with 4:50 left and his Dutchman down by 3.
Well, Central continuing to lead here, and of course, you look at what Central's been able to do over the years, especially in the 90s. They've had 2 trips to the state finals, trying to do it like they did it a year ago with the number 5 seed. And there's good news as Vogelsanger up, little gingerly walking off the floor. But I'll tell you, you look at Central's schedule every year, and you wonder, they have 6 losses. They're not even in the top 10 in the state by the Patriots. Let's take a look at the injury first, though. And this will be a little painful watching this.
Vogelsanger again set, and Mills falls right on that left foot.
But Central plays such a great non-league schedule. You look at games against Chester, Reading, Steel High, Abington, a non-PIA Christian Academy team that, dare we say, they do a little recruiting. Christian Academy.
A lot of teams that play well into March on that Central schedule.
I don't think we want to go there, though. And of course, that toughens you up. When you're used to that kind of competition, these kind of games don't faze you.
They're trying to put a blanket on line ball. Now O'Donnell has him, switching off with Turpin. Line ball has it. For Custer, that's way long. Mills the rebound. Now we'll see if Central tries to run some clock. 3-point lead midway through the 4th quarter.
Both of these teams, Steve, are great finishers. In other words, a close game in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Both teams are outstanding.
Inside for Sharkey. Surrounded. Too strong. Rebound for line ball. And O'Donnell with a great steal. What a play by Brian O'Donnell.
O'Donnell got the best of line ball that time. Line ball wasn't looking, and O'Donnell able to slip in and make a great play. And instead of a chance to tie with a line ball 3, it's a 5-point Central lead.
Full timeout taken by Annville-Cleona with 3:29 to play. Central Catholic with a 5-point lead. O'Donnell set that play up perfectly. He made it look like he was just going to run back down to the other end. Quickly turned around, reached in, took it away from line ball and scored. Here it is.
We'll take a look at it. Watch line ball just kind of, he's looking up court, and at the last second he sees O'Donnell. He was looking to make a pass up the way. And even though O'Donnell a little bit out of control as he dribbled in, he still steadied himself, made the shot. As much as anything else in this game, O'Donnell's performance here this afternoon has been the difference.
12 points for O'Donnell. Huge play right there. Instead of Annville having the ball with a chance to maybe tie it on a 3-pointer, the Dutchman now down 5 with 3.5 minutes to play.
Now we talk about Central's difficult schedule, and just the fact that this is their 4th trip in 5 years to the Eastern semis indicates that when playoff time comes around, they're used to playing these tough teams. These kind of games are made to order. Meanwhile, Annville-Cleona has had a great year. 2 of their losses were to very tough York Catholic, and they lost to McCaskey. Almost another steal by O'Donnell.
He got a hand in that, but Brandt was able to corral it.
Wait, you think he's fired up right now? Think the adrenaline pumping in him?
Vogelsanger's at the scorer's table. He'll check back in for the Dutchman.
That time Mills was guarding line ball. Now Turpin.
Mills with the help. Brandt, Barlett, Linebaugh, Custer, and Kleinfelder in for the Dutchman.
Now Sharkey out to take him. They're switching off, and not only switching off, but using the double team. That's one of the moves that Snip Esterly made probably in the last timeout or two, realizing that there was some help needed to take care of Linebaugh. Everybody a little more conscious of him.
Central staying with O'Donnell, Turpin, Hayes, Sharkey, and Mills. Linebaugh fires and drills another one. Wow. He is unbelievable.
And unconscious.
44-42 Cardinals, 25 points for Linebaugh. He had 4 after a quarter.
You hate to see one of these teams go home after this game. There's Turpin answering back.
That's twice now. Turpin has answered with a big hoop. He has 10. By the way, make it 26 for Linebaugh, just for good measure.
Wow. Steve, can we do 2 out of 3?
Oh, let's. Today. Linebaugh got Turpin in the air. This is Brandt left wide open, too strong. Barlett and Hayes with contact. Last touch by Sean Hayes.
And do you think at this stage of the game anybody is holding anything back? Hayes went storming over there, ended up in the Annville-Cleona bench. Dutchman will keep the ball. Scott Parra better watch out. Those suspenders are liable to snap off.
Vogelsanger back in with 2 minutes to play. 46-42 Central Catholic. They try to set inbounds play where they inbound to the corner and have Linebaugh break from the top of the key, but Central had it covered. Here is Custer. Can't get the bounce. Mills, a huge rebound. Keep in mind, only 3 team fouls each. So the Dutchmen are going to try and take some here to get Central into the bonus.
And there's one of the fouls as Brandt commits it.
It's his second, fourth on the team.
Normally losing needs to get it up to 6 or 7 team fouls so they can foul and put the other team on the line.
You shoot the bonus at 7. That was number 4 on the Dutchman.
And again, it's remarkable with as much intensity as we've had in this game. There's Brandt's second quick foul in a matter of seconds. With as much defensive intensity and pressure as there has been in this game, it's amazing the fouls haven't added up. That's how good they're playing defensively.
That's 3 on Brandt, 5 on the team. Scott Parra, as you look at his counterpart, Snip Esterly, has told Barlett he's got to take some fouls.
And Mike Murphy over there in the blue shirt, what a great job he does. He's like holy name equivalent of Mike Botch. Both do great jobs in helping their head man.
And now Linebaugh trying to foul, but before he can, Central Catholic will take a timeout. Annville let a lot of time run off the clock without fouling. The Cardinals will halt play with 1:31 left, and they lead 46-42.
And there is Mike Murphy, and you can't imagine the job that these assistants do. It's a very low-paying job. A lot of hours get worked. They look at a lot of film. Mike Murphy of Central Catholic, he's got to be a head coach someday.
You're going to get scouting reports to go through, and as you said, look at some tape. It's a very big job, especially when you have a great program and you get this far into the playoffs. And we talked to both Scott Parra and Snip Esterly before the game about a potential matchup in the Eastern Final, whoever wins today. Scott Parra said, look, I don't know much about Dunmore and St. Pius X. Hopefully tonight I'll need to know more about them, and if I do, I'll start to get to work on it. But they're so focused on this game, they're not worried about the Eastern Final.
And this may as well be the last game of the season, the way these two teams have brought the table to this game.
And for one of them, it will be.
And that's a shame, because both of these teams deserve tremendous accolades for the year they've had. This has been such a well-played basketball game. And we've got 1:31 to decide who goes to the Eastern Finals.
46-42 Cardinals. Hayes to inbound, right to Mills. Annville not fouling. They need to foul twice more before putting Central to the line. And there's one of them on Barlett. His first, 6 on the team. Bonus on the next one.
And now they're in a position to foul, and they will have to, because Central very capable of locking the ball away. And very shortly, we'll be acquainting you with the free throw percentages of individual Cardinals, because some of them are going to have some big 1-and-1s coming up.
They're 65 as a team this year, and there is Brandt fouling Hayes. That's the 4th on Brandt, team 7th. Sean Hayes will go to the line where he shoots 68%. It's a 1-and-1.
Well, you start about, what would you say, 3rd or 4th grade, and you shoot free throws in your backyard, and you shoot them over the years in quantities of 10s and 20s and 100s, and it's just for these kind of moments.
And if you're like most kids, you pretend the game's on the line. Misses the first. Vogelsanger with the rebound. Dutchman down 4, 1:15 to play. That's the man they want to have the ball, line ball.
And that's the man they want on him, Turpin.
Driving inside, Vogelsanger for Custer. Good defense by Sharkey. Line ball, alone again, short. Custer, offensive rebound. Under a minute to play. Vogelsanger on the tender left ankle, wheeling, dealing, no. Gets it back over Mills, and a foul on Jared Mills.
Jared Mills thought he got all ball, but the referee thought he got him with the body. That's number 4 on Jared Mills. Let's take another look. And again, we have the luxury of the replay. Misses that shot. Vogelsanger on the tender ankle, working hard, and here's the foul. And tough to say, especially when the official is behind the play who makes the call.
Vogelsanger 1 for 2 from the line. He scored 11 points, 82% free throw shooter.
Generally, when the official is behind, how does he see the foul with the body? But hey, we're not about to start knocking anybody in striped shirts. They've done a great job in this game.
Yeah, they have. Well officiated game. Annville-Cleona will take a 20-second timeout with 46.8 seconds left. Let's reset things. 3-point lead for Central Catholic, 46-43. Annville-Cleona has committed 17 fouls, so Central is in the bonus right now. Central has been charged with 14 fouls. The possession arrow favors Annville-Cleona. And as far as timeouts, Central has 2 full and 1:20 remaining. Annville has 2 full timeouts remaining.
You know, Steve, you look at these two head coaches, Snip Esterly and Coach Pero on the other side. You wonder how they have a voice left at the end of the game, because everything they're doing, they're yelling, trying to yell over the crowd. And you would think these guys would be dead horse by the end of the game.
Scott Pera, 79 wins in his 4 seasons. Snip Esterly, 248 in his 10 years. It's a 2-point game as Vogelsanger hits them both. And now, for the first time, full court defense. Here's Mills. He can handle the ball.
He can, and they'll clear it out so he can bring it up, and the double team doesn't come. Whoa, wow. Dangerous pass.
Very dangerous pass. Line ball nearly.
Yeah, what O'Donnell is saying is that line ball hit him in the face. That should be an intentional foul, and line ball, good sportsmanship, goes over and shakes his hand. I guarantee you that wasn't an intentional foul. He was just reaching out, and it just happened to hit him across the face. But that was an athletic foul by line ball. Everything he does is spectacular.
He came within inches of getting that cross-court pass and going the other way to tie the game. O'Donnell is 0 for 2 from the line today, 13 for 28 on the season.
And you at home don't need us to tell you how important these free throws are.
It's still a 1-and-1, 8-team foul. It was the second on line ball.
And he's under 50% on the year from the line.
Big one for O'Donnell. He has scored 13 in the game, 47-44.
And what a huge game he has played. They would not have the lead without this man on the line.
Two big free throws for O'Donnell. Makes it a 2-possession game, 48-44 with 38.2 seconds left. The full timeout taken by the Cardinals.
It's always fun to watch free throw shooters. There's so much adrenaline running, so much nervousness on the line. You've got to block out the crowd. You've got to block out the situation. And you're a guy who shoots less than 50%. And here's a late arrival of a cheerleader at center court. Or a cheerleader to be. The Central cheerleaders are performing out there, and there's a little girl who has come out to join them. Meanwhile, you look into the Annville-Cleona huddle, and there's who we're talking about. Well, she needs a little work on the routine.
Just a little behind, that's all.
She'll get it.
Just a little behind everybody else.
She's got a few years to work on it. Well, you don't think little kids get a big kick out of that. with the big girls here, and of course the big guys, and Annville-Cleona face now with a 4-point deficit, 38.2 to go. It'll be interesting to see if they go back to line ball. He's been giving the ball up in the last minute or so. He's created some shots for his teammates. Somewhere along the line, you think the line ball might get a chance at a three-pointer, if not to tie the game, to win the game. Let's see if it comes down to that.
Yarden Brantley is in for the Cardinals, replacing Hayes, and Brantley's going to play line ball.
Remember, Jared Mills has 4 fouls, and there's a foul right there, and they have fouls to take.
I think they're going to give the 2 fouls they can. That's number 5 on the team.
You can take 4 or 5 seconds off the clock with each foul, so you make it a shorter game.
That's right.
Snip Esterly plays all the angles. You don't get things by him.
They'll take another one somewhere along the line here to give them 16 fouls, if they can.
There's line ball open. Lost the ball.
Custer. Heavy contact, misses the shot, Mills the rebound, and he's fouled immediately by Fogelsanger, his 3rd, team 9th. So Jared Mills will go to the line to shoot a 1-and-1 with 27 seconds left. His Cardinals up by 4. And the Central fans sense another trip to an Eastern Final.
Well, believe me, when Mark Lineball is on the court wearing the other team's jersey, this thing is by no means over yet. A lot of time left to go. And again, Central forced to hit big free throws.
Mills is 2 for 2 today. 69% on the season. Jared has scored 16 points today, 12 of them in the first half.
Well, I was out here before the game, before they let fans into the gym. Jared Mills was sitting across the gym and just kind of an impassive look on his face. It's hard to get a read on what he was thinking. He's an intense guy, though.
He misses the front end, but he gets it back. Sharkey kept it alive.
Somebody forgot to block out the man on the free throw line. A Cardinal mistake, or in this case, a Dutchman mistake.
Barlett reaching in, commits his 2nd, now 10 on the team. So it's double bonus, 2 shots coming up for Yarden Brantley. His first trip to the line, he's 58% on the season.
Now here's the guy who doesn't get a whole lot of playing time, being asked to go to the line and make some big free throws.
It'll be a 2-possession game no matter what he does here. Cardinals struggling from the line. Snip Esterly will take a full timeout. 21.9 seconds left. 48-44, Central Catholic with the lead. Brantley will have another free throw when play resumes. And the Cardinals down now to a 20-second timeout.
One of the things that Snip will instruct his troops on is no matter what happens down the other end, Annville-Cleona is going to full court press. So you want to make sure if it's a man-to-man press, you get the ball in the hands of Mills and let him bring it up against the big guys. And he also wants to go over his defense because you figure that Lineball will try to create something down the other end. But what a game he has had. Lineball has single-handedly kept the Dutchman in this thing this afternoon, much as he has done the whole season.
26 points for Lineball, 18 of them in the second half. Central is 4 for 9 from the line in the ball game. Brantley will have another, trying to make it a 5-point game with just under 22 seconds left. And now the doors on this side of the gym have been opened up by security, and the officials asking that they be closed. The wind was blowing from right to left there for a moment.
Well, nobody's lining up a field goal, though. Just a free throw.
That's well short. And Fogelsanger has the rebound, although Sharkey nearly got another one.
Time running out.
Here's Lineball. He is surrounded. Gets it inside. Fogelsanger across the court to Custer. Spins it in. Annville gets a timeout with 5.5 seconds left and the lead down to 2. Great pass by Fogelsanger.
Maybe took a little too much time to get that set up, but Lineball was literally triple teamed in the corner. Watch the heads-up play he makes. Look at 3 men come down to play him, and he realizes, I've got to get rid of the ball. And then watch the great pass right there, a little spin around the horn bounce pass in the basket. And now comes the most important inbounds pass Central has had this year. They've got to get the ball inside or inbounds, and then they've got to get it in the hands, make sure the ball's cleanly caught, that there isn't a steal, and then expect the foul real quick.
5.5 seconds left. I would guess you throw the ball long, where even if you do throw it away, they've either got to use their last timeout and go the length of the floor, or they've got to go the length of the floor.
The only problem with that is if you throw the ball down the court and it goes out of bounds, it goes back to the spot. That would give them a chance. And
I'm talking right around the top of the other arc. Throw it somewhere in there. You got Mills, you got Sharkey.
Right. The only thing they don't want is to give Lineball a chance to win this game with a 3.
Well, that's why I don't think you inbound the ball short, because he's right there already.
You say potato, I say potato. Let's see what they do.
Well, I do neither. They're going to go short, and right away Turpin is fouled. So Elmer will go to the line to shoot 2. On the season, he is a 75% free throw shooter.
4.9 seconds is enough time to get the ball to Lineball, let him run the floor, and get up a 3-pointer. Therefore, it is absolutely imperative that one of these 2 free throws get made by Turpin. The worst that could happen at that point for Central would be overtime. If he makes both, this thing's over.
Third foul on Lineball. Turpin with his first trip to the line.
And the other thing I would do if I were the Cardinals is I'd make sure you knew where Lineball is and impede his trip up the floor. See, right now, nobody's really around him.
Huge. This to make it a 2-possession game. Snip Esterly will take his final timeout. It'll be a 20-second break with 4.9 seconds left. Annville-Cleona down by 3. Turpin will have another one for the Cardinals.
Now, what Snip is saying are a number of things. First of all, whatever you do, don't foul anybody. Stay with them, but don't reach in, don't get a foul, because if you put somebody on the foul line, they make a shot, miss a shot, there's a tap. So that's number 1.
If he does make this one, Randy, I do foul.
Oh, yeah, well, that would be a whole different story.
They have one to give, and it's a 2-possession game.
Right, but I'm saying if he misses this one, you can't afford a foul.
Well, you still can if you reach in, because you're not sending him to the line.
Right.
They still have a foul to give.
Okay, and you're absolutely right. They can. That would take maybe a second or 2 more off the clock, making it more difficult.
Annville has 1 timeout left.
That's why Snip Esterly gets the big bucks.
Annville calls the timeout with 4 seconds to play. They will have 1 attempt to send this one to overtime. Okay, draw it up.
All right, well, what you have to do, I don't know if you remember in the NCAA a year ago, the Valpo play, where they fire the ball not to Lineball or not to their leading scorer, but where they throw it to another guy who then throws it quickly to Lineball, cutting down the court. That may be the kind of play I would diagram, because it seems inconceivable that if Lineball gets the ball in the forecourt, that they're not going to foul him quickly, or that he can even make it up the court and get a good shot. So maybe a pass that comes into half court, because certainly Central will want to keep one of its defensive players back, the quick pass to center court, and then the quick pass to the wing to get him in position where he can launch a 3-pointer and maybe tie the game.
And no, Bryce Drew has not checked in for the Dutchman. He is the Valpo Crusader who made that shot last year in the NCAA tournament. They're going to put Sharkey on the ball the way it looks.
I'm not sure that Lineball wouldn't be as good as him. Look at
Snip showing Sharkey exactly what he wants him to do against the inbounder. And here's where it'd be nice to have another timeout if you're Annville. You could get the ball to midcourt and call timeout. But they're out of timeouts.
A Lineball is coming back for the ball, and they may want to foul him.
Sharkey pushes him in the back. What's the call?
If that's an intentional foul, that could be a real problem.
They're going to ask if he's in the act of shooting. This is a huge call by Tim Ebersol, Mike George, and John Eister. Is it intentional? Is it in the act of shooting?
It's 2 shots.
On the floor. On the floor. Now Scott Pear is going to have to ask for more time on the clock. The foul is on Turpin. That is his 4th, team 6th.
Boy, Scott Pear just absolutely out of his mind right now, and that's a good move by the official. You come over and you explain your call. We would take a replay, except they're about to inbound. Well, let's take a look again real quick before they inbound the ball.
I'll tell you what, he's very close to being in the act of shooting.
Absolutely, and very close to an intentional foul, because Sharkey literally chased him up the floor with that in mind.
I don't know if we can run that again if we have time. The foul was on Turpin for reaching in, but Sharkey definitely pushed in the back, and they're going to put time on the clock as I suspected. 1.5 left.
Still enough time for Lineball to launch a 3. And I'll tell you what, if I'm the Cardinals, now in this particular instance,
here it is. He is very close to firing the ball right there He's in the act of shooting.
Yeah, I think he got hit in the back before. Here's the game right here.
It's going to go to Brandt for the tie and a foul. There's a foul on the play.
3 shots. It'll be 3 shots here.
They didn't go to line ball, and Sharkey is called for the foul, and it's 3 shots for Brandt. If he misses any of them, we go home.
Wow.
And Brandt just a 62% free throw shooter.
Got to make 3 in a row or the game is over and Central wins. If he makes 3 in a row, we go to overtime.
49-47.
This is where legends are created right here.
One more for the extra session. Wow.
And remember, no time on the clock. So if he makes this overtime, if he misses, Central wins.
We're going OT. What a job by Mark Brandt.
This is the backup point guard for Annville-Cleona, who just knocked down 3 shots in a row with no time on the clock. Scott Parrow was in front of his bench leading the cheers on the Annville side, and that is just enormous.
Central Catholic has led since the start of the second quarter when they took a 13-11 lead. And right now, Annville has battled back on 3 Mark Brandt free throws with no time on the clock to tie it.
We've got a 4-minute overtime coming. And again, the controversy with line ball, was he fouled in the open court intentionally? Was he trying to shoot? Academic at this point.
Absolutely. I thought he was in the act of shooting.
And I'll tell you what, line ball, well, Brandt, just enormous. I mean, just enormous. How clutch is that? I mean, you see NBA guys who couldn't make 3 in a row with no time on the clock like that. To step up and just hit 3 in a row. This kid just became a legend in Annville-Cleona.
4-minute overtime period. We'll start with a jump ball, then go to the possession arrow after that. It'll be Mills and Fogelsanger, Central in the red, moving from left to right. Team foul, stay up there. And the Cardinals control the tap.
And normally you would think the adrenaline advantage or the momentum to Annville, but Central, a battle-tested club.
Line ball with 26 to lead Annville.
What a game.
Mills 16 to lead Central. Great pieces of coaching on both sides.
And great players on both sides, and clutch players on both sides. Central probably could look back and regret missing some of those free throws down the stretch. That would have iced the game easily, but hey, it's overtime, and this is where champions are made right here.
Cardinals 5 for 12 from the line. Annville 5 for 5 in the fourth quarter, 7 for 11 in the game.
Sometimes in overtime, you don't want to be the first guy to step up and take the first shot of overtime.
But I kind of like this. As you mentioned, Annville had all the momentum going into overtime. You hope this crowd that's chanting defense kind of tires out, and the players for Annville will relax a little bit, not being pumped up by their fans.
And there's the man, Brandt, on Turpin.
62%. He hit 3 like they were nothing. Turpin now in some trouble.
And even a little drama with a third one, bouncing it up off the rim and in. And you're right, this is a great move. And hey, do you knock 3 or 4 minutes off the clock and you just hold for the last shot? That's too much time.
The Annville fans quieting down, now voicing their displeasure with this strategy.
The key for Central is they've got to hit the first basket in the OT, because if Annville gets the lead, this place will become
crazier than it is. Yeah. Each team gets a timeout as well in overtime.
Whoa,
nearly
nice catch
thrown
by
away.
Turpin.
Turpin not sure if he has his dribble here. I think he still has it.
Yeah, I think he does too. And nobody's coming out to play him, and 2 minutes have elapsed in the overtime. And you know what? Maybe you just sit back and you just take the last shot of the OT.
The Annville fans, the students, were thinking double dribble as well.
Nice catch by O'Donnell. Risky passes.
They don't have a whistle, though, those Annville students. Knocked out of bounds, still belongs to Central. The Cardinals have run 2:14 off the overtime clock. We have not had a shot. Tied at 49 with 1:46 left.
Still can't get over Brandt hitting 3 free throws with no time on the clock.
Gene Hackman on the sideline somewhere?
Oh, boy.
Right out of Hoosiers.
That's the definition of pressure free throws. You know, that term big free throw is just overused, but those were big ones.
Line ball with a great play. He is more than a scorer. He can flat out play some basketball.
Now they spent 2.5 minutes, never looked to shoot the ball, and then lose the ball. Now Annville might just take it down.
They're going to spread the floor. This is literally the 4 corners that Dean Smith used so effectively at North Carolina. Most of all with Phil Ford, his great point guard.
And when you've got a player like Lineball on the floor who can score from anywhere, opening up the floor plays right into his hands.
Final minute of the first overtime from Warwick High School. PIAA Boys Class AA Eastern Semifinal. Turpin has O'Donnell. Elmer has 4 fouls in the game.
As does Jared Mills, so they have to be careful.
Both teams in the bonus. Central is in the double bonus. 10 Annville-Cleona fouls, and Sean Hayes takes a foul on Barlett, which will put him on the line for a 1-and-1 with 35 seconds left. I think that's just so Central gets the ball back.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They don't want to let it go down to where Annville has a shot to win the game. This way, at least you know that even if he makes the 2 free throws, you get to come back and tie. If he should miss, then you've got the ball in your corner.
First on Hayes, 8th on the team. It's a 1-and-1 for Barlett. 78% on the season, 0 for 2 today.
And remember, he's been playing with that ankle injury.
And he gets the backyard roll.
And that's the first lead that Annville has had since I think we have to go back near the beginning of the game. Or is it the second quarter?
11-9. 11 the first quarter.
Right?
The last time they led. Second lead change of the game to go along with 5 ties. And it's a 1-point lead with 33 seconds left.
Now we wanted a game that comes down to the last possession. We have one.
Annville showing a half-court trap. Inside for Mills. Yes, and he's fouled. Mills has been quiet, but a big hoop there, giving him 18 in the game. The foul is on Custer. That'll be his 3rd.
Nice recognition by Sharkey. Watch him, watch Mills slide down. There's 4 white shirts around, and Mills able to find the gap. This is a huge free throw right here.
Jared 2 for 3 from the line. A chance to make it a 2-point game with 22.2 seconds left. A rebound for Fogelsanger.
It's 17.3 left, and I would say it's Mark Lineball time right here.
Timeout taken by Annville-Cleona. 51-50 they trail.
And again, Central's inability to hit big free throws, it cost them in regulation. Let's see if it costs them here.
Well, they went to Brandt at the end of regulation for the game-tying shot. He was fouled, made 3 free throws to tie the game. I don't think you go to anybody else but Lineball here. He either makes it, misses it, gets fouled, or commits a charge.
Well, the one thing is that Central's defense is going to be key towards stopping him. And Lineball, when he takes the ball to the hoop, is liable to find a teammate wide open on the perimeter. He's such an unselfish player that he's liable to get it too. And that's what makes him such a great player, because he makes everybody else around him a little better, or if nothing else, makes them a little more open.
But if he passes it off, he's got to make sure it's a layup. That's the only time he can get rid of the ball, if somebody else has a layup.
Central Catholic, famous for their man-to-man defense, and in 17.3 seconds of overtime left, we'll see just whether it can rise to the occasion. Lineball just a killer when it comes to putting teams away. We'll see what he can do.
And they get the ball right to him. He'll be guarded by Turpin. Lineball will try and break him down. 10 to go. Gets a high screen. Dishes it off for Custer. Custer hits the layup. Central timeout. Clock has continued to run. They're going to have to put some time on the clock. The Dutchman by a point.
We're going to have to put at least 3-point-some seconds back on the clock. And that's what we were talking about in terms of Lineball creating a teammate. And let's take another look at this, and let's take a look at how much time. Watch line ball as he splits the defense here, and there's the open teammate. That's what we were talking about.
And the shot, a layup. Great move by Custer. Sharkey rotated away from him. We'll try and run that back for you again during the break. Sharkey left Custer. Line ball saw it and dished it off in the baseline.
And I actually think they have put too much time on the clock, if you want to know the truth. Let's take another look at this.
4 seconds on the clock, by the way.
Unfortunately, we don't have the clock in the bottom. But there's the nice pass. Line ball setting up a teammate. How they didn't foul him, I don't know. And the shot made by Custer, and what a big one there. Now you've got 4 seconds to get it down the floor. And any ideas here could be any number of things.
Yeah, what do you do if you're Central Catholic?
I think you have to get the ball to midcourt to Sharkey. He's the tallest guy out there, and then let him flip it to somebody and see if they can get a shot. Because 4 seconds isn't much time to run the floor.
And if you're going to run the floor, you almost have to give it to Turpin, because he can fly. There's Elmer. He can fly with the basketball.
There are careers in the balance right here. A number of seniors 4 seconds away.
Tom Lundquist has checked in for the first time. He will inbound the ball for Central Catholic. Lundquist intercepted by Custer, and the Dutchmen are going to the Eastern Final. Custer at the buzzer, giving Annville-Cleona a 4-point win. A 3-point win, pardon me. Did they count that?
I don't think they counted that. It's not on the board. Nevertheless, what an unbelievable victory for Annville-Cleona, and the most crushing of losses you will ever see for Central Catholic. This is about as great a high school basketball game I think that I have ever seen, at least in the 90s.
We'll see if they counted that last hoop. They will count it. Custer gets 2 points, giving him 8 in the game, half of them in overtime, including the game-winning hoop. The final score from Warwick High School in Lidditz in overtime. Annville-Cleona 54, Central Catholic 51. We'll come back with a wrap-up of this great high school game in just a moment.
Looking for the biggest deal in entertainment, the latest movies, the hottest sports, plus exclusive specials and concerts? Then think big. Think the big picture on Time Warner Home Theater. The big picture is so much more than television. It's the biggest and best of everything you love to watch. And ordering the big picture is a snap. Just check your on-screen guide or sneak preview for showtimes, follow the easy ordering instructions, then sit back and enjoy. The big picture on Time Warner Home Theater, the biggest thing to happen to your TV.
Take the plunge in the Discovery Channel Eco Challenge Sweepstakes. Run to get your entry form. Win your own Eco Challenge adventure. One grand prize winner could go mountain biking in Moab, sea kayaking in the San Juan Islands, or on one of several other exciting trips. Contact your local cable company or visit a participating retailer for your chance to win in the Discovery Channel Eco Challenge Sweepstakes. Watch the Discovery Channel Eco Challenge Morocco, premiering April 11th at 9 Eastern and Pacific, only on the Discovery Channel.
Look at me. You recognize me? I am the man you want. I am Jean Valjean.
Liam Neeson, Jeffrey Rush, Uma Thurman, Claire Danes.
Because that will always be safe with me.
Pay-per-view delivers classic romance.
I knew it!
Les Miserables. Epic entertainment, easy to order on pay-per-view.
Welcome back to Warwick High School in Lidditz. What a fantastic boys high school basketball game here today in a AA Eastern semifinal in overtime. Annville-Cleona beat Central Catholic 54-51. Steve Degler back with Randy Stevens, and we're pleased to have with us head coach of Annville-Cleona, Scott Parra. First of all, congratulations on one heck of a ball game.
Thank you very much. That was one heck of a high school basketball game. And I told the one reporter in there, as excited as I am, that team is very, very good. They did everything they needed to do to win. Our kids just stuck with it long enough to give themselves a chance. And we talked about opportunities, taking advantage of the opportunities you get, and nobody more than Mark Brandt has taken advantage of his opportunities, and nobody deserves this more than for him to be in the limelight a little bit tonight.
Talk about the emotion you've gone through today. I mean, we were watching you on the sideline during the game and then after the game. I mean, you look drained, but still extremely exuberant at the same time.
I just love coaching. Sometimes I get a little carried away, and I don't mean to do that. I just love these kids. I love coaching the game, and I can't keep that stuff in me. Everybody's a little bit different. Some people, that rubs the wrong way, and that's not my intention. I just love coaching these kids, and nothing makes you happier than the way they played today.
Mark Linebaugh, just the man in this game. I mean, there were times in this game when he was unconscious, when he literally carried you on his back. He's just a great player.
Well, I mean, I don't know how many adjectives you can use. Every one of them. And also, I can say he's a junior. This is only the tip of the iceberg, fellas, and I know where he can go. He kept us in it. He hung us on. He kept us in the game just to give us a chance. As long as he kept keeping us in it, I felt we'd have a chance, and I'll be darned. Today fell our way, guys.
One of the things that is the trademark almost of Annville-Cleona basketball is your ferocious man-to-man style, and yet you came out at the beginning of the game, pretty much went zone most of the way.
It's one of the things I'll second-guess myself a little bit, but Sharkey and Mills are tough to handle man-to-man. But Timmy Fogelsanger and Isaac Custer are amazing. Did Tim take 3 charges today? 3 charges in a high school basketball game, fellas. That's not easy to do. And I also said, just picture yourself some night as a kid in high school or in college, or even now as an adult, laying in bed. How many times you dream with no time left on the clock and 3 free throws and you're on the line to tie the game, and they keep going swishing your dreams? Then you go out there and stay on that line and knock all 3 of them down to give yourself a chance. I'm going to pinch him, pinch myself. Unbelievable.
I want to talk about that end of regulation because I thought, looking at the replay, that Linebaugh maybe was in the act of shooting when he was fouled. But then, when you get the ball back with extra time on the clock, you don't go to him, it goes to Brandt. What's the thinking there?
How about the guts of our kids? Just Mark Brandt to take the shot. He wanted the ball. And I told him, want the ball. I told him that at halftime. You got to want this situation. You got to attack it. Don't wait, And I thought Linebaugh, I don't know if he's shooting or not, but I thought he got tackled. It was as close to intentional as it was 3 shots. It was a blatant from behind push. Whether he was shooting or not, I didn't know. But at this point.
One quick final question. When you guys finally got to the locker room after this thing is over, what was it like down in the locker room? It must have been a madhouse.
There was 17 very excited young men and 5 very excited coaches. But we all stopped. Now, this group is an emotional group, but today, emotions just take over. You can't help it. But in the locker room, I applauded the seniors for their attitude, for their perseverance, and everybody just kind of took a knee, looked at each other, and said, let's go out and enjoy this. Get the music on and go out and just get what you deserve.
Well, great win today. Congratulations. You're on your way to the Eastern Final against either Dunmore or St. Pius X. Best of luck.
We're just happy to be playing. Thanks for coming, guys.
Scott Parra joining us here, 54-51. His Annville-Cleona Dutchman winning it in overtime here at Warwick High School. We're going to try and get Mark Brandt here if we can. He's doing all kinds of interviews as well. He was the hero sending this game to overtime with 3 free throws, tying the game at 49 at the end of regulation, and then Annville goes on to win it in overtime by a score of 54-51. Unfortunately, Mark Brandt won't be able to join us, but he is now a legend, Randy, in the Annville-Cleona School District. He will never be forgotten.
Boy, absolutely. And literally when the team was in the locker room when the game ended, there were fans of Annville-Cleona's down, and they were just chorusing, we want Brandt, we want Brandt. And he came around the corner. He had this kind of very quiet look on his face. People were asking him, what were you thinking? And he just kept saying over and over again like a mantra, I just was thinking, I've got to make these 3. What a tremendous win for Annville-Cleona. And what a heartbreaking loss on the other side. Here's a team Central that, for lack of a free throw made, would have been going to the Eastern Finals, and instead they go home. The careers of Sharkey ends, the career of Mills ends. Just such a tough thing to have happen to them. They've had such a great run over the last couple of years. But our congratulations to the Dutchmen. What a great effort.
Central finishes up at 26-7. Annville-Cleona now 28-3. As we mentioned, we'll get either Dunmore or St. Pius X in Wednesday's Eastern Final with a berth to the state final on the line. Mark Linebaugh, tremendous, 26 points. Tim Fogelsanger, 13 points, leading Annville-Cleona. For Central Catholic, 18 for Jared Mills, 14 for Brian O'Donnell, 11 for Elmer Turpin. It's a shame, as they say, somebody had to lose this game, but this is a game that will be remembered for a long time. A great great effort by both these teams here this afternoon.
Just tremendous. It's what high school playoff basketball is all about. When the PIA maps these things up, what they hope for is to have a dozen of these kind of finishes. It was a great game. Both teams certainly had opportunities to win it. And when all is said and done, it took an overtime to decide it. But the Dutchmen are moving on.
We told you right from the beginning, the two of us have been waiting for this matchup all year. We got it. We were not disappointed. In overtime at Warwick High School in Lidditz, Annville-Cleona 54, Central Catholic 51. The Dutchmen advancing to Wednesday's Eastern Final in Boys AA against either Dunmore or St. Pius X. For Randy Stevens and the entire Time Warner Cable crew, Steve Degler saying so long from Lidditz. The final score once again in overtime, Annville-Cleona 54, Central Catholic 51.
Hello and welcome to Lebanon Community Health Watch. I am your host, Bob Longo, President and CEO of the Good Samaritan Hospital. Over the next year, in conjunction with Time Warner Cable, I will be hosting this program that will focus on health issues for all ages, services that are available in our community, upcoming events, and issues that affect all of us. Today we will talk about the Community Health Council of Lebanon County, teenage
It set up a parents' commission to develop drug prevention strategies for the state. It mandated that violent drug offenders serve 100% of their sentence. And it called on the state to rehabilitate nonviolent drug offenders by requiring treatment instead of jail.
This will do it then. Let's see you back here June 6th at 9:30. You're released from custody today. Good luck.
Leading public officials oppose Prop 200.
There are